Hello. Right now, Dad will be, well, how about this? Gary will be, starting the car, which is...
Sucks about this, folks, is we're definitely not in clean road status yet, but I don't know, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yep. It's for safety. Oh, we're going to Tennessee. Dad, can I tell them a place that we're gonna see on the way there?
Sure.
On the way to Tennessee, we're gonna be seeing Mount Rushmore. That will be really fun. Wait, are we gonna be like staying there? No. Like, are we gonna camp there? Mount Rushmore? Or are we gonna...
I gotta think. Let's not talk about Mount Rushmore right now.
Okay.
Oh, the gravel. Alright. Well, so far so good. Under very light load, the car feels about the same. Hi folks, I'm not even too sure where to start this video because the video that I did think I was going to be filming for you has kind of kicked me in the junk. Sadie and I took the car out the other day. We were going to do like a first impressions video. And in the video I said, okay, I'm not going to bore you guys with the initial stuff here because I still have not like gone out and heat cycled these brakes. So I'm like, I won't bore you with any of that. Shut the camera off, did the whole heat cycle thing. While I was doing that, I actually noticed that I've got, a little bit of a goofy hiccup on my driver's side rear corner. More on that later. During that drive, my speedometer just decides to fall to 0. Okay, no big deal. We'll look at that when we get back to the shop. Pulled in to get some fuel. Noticed that I got pink boost juice all over under the front end of this car. Perfect, right? And after we got fuel, we went out and did a couple little like minor pulls type thing. And I'm like, geez, the boost level seems really low on this thing. Like I was seeing 5 pounds at most, but like typically 2 to 3. What is going on here? So long story short, we said to hell with it. Let's go back to the shop and see if we can figure some of these things out. That was 2 days ago. Last night, I did a little recon, didn't film anything, but found out that my reason I had boost juice all over the place is my washer fluid reservoir was faulty. It was leaking everywhere. So as I was like giving her and then stopping and doing the whole heat cycle for the brakes thing, I was just puking boost juice all over the inner fender. That's good, right? So then, what else did I tend to? Oh, my speedometer that fell on its face. I thought to myself, well, I did have the dash out of this car. Maybe the speedo cable didn't like engage with the back of the speedometer correctly. Started up top, everything was fine there. Went down below, come to find that my speedo gear is absolutely chewed up, the driven gear. And when I look inside the transmission, I just see the clip that holds the drive gear inside the transmission in place on the shaft. I see the clip hanging out there. I'm like, what are you doing there? So I go in to grab it. It falls, hits the bottom of the case. Perfect, right? I also found out, I'm like, well, why did this thing chew itself up? Well, as it turns out, how my speedo cable is now routed around the Kenne Bell inlet, it just had like this real tight bend. I've since sort of maneuvered it and manipulated it to a point where it'll actually turn, but I couldn't even turn the speedo gear down at the transmission. So no wonder it ate itself alive. That's the speedo issue. And you can probably see over my shoulder right there, there's a transmission jack. I'm pulling the tranny tonight. I talked to my transmission buddy and he's like, chances are you might not have any problems, but he's like, do you want to find out the hard way? I'm like, no, I don't. I'll drop the transmission. And it would be nice to have a speedo, but I'm more worried about causing catastrophic damage to that transmission. So I'm pulling my transmission out. What else? Oh, we've got a odd brake wear pattern. Okay, I'll show you that right now. And this might make a little more sense if I throw some pictures up on the screen, but you can see here, I'm just using like the brakes are only engaging the top half of this rotor. I'm like, what is going on here, right? And just to give you a cross comparison, the passenger side is totally doing its job, right? Way better wear pattern. Well, as it turns out, now these are both Ford OEM SN95 Remand, like the rebuilt calipers. But again, these pictures will probably, that I'll put on the screen, help, but this section of this caliper is a heck of a lot deeper than this section. So the only thing I can think of here is like, look at that compared to where my finger sits. I must have got just two, I don't know, opposite castings? I don't really know. Everything functions as it should. It's just not, I guess, and I should mention too, the backside is doing its job, right? The piston side. So it's contacting the full rotor, but this side is not. The front brakes are doing exactly what they're supposed to, both sides. And yeah, it does really bring itself down from speed quickly. But this is kind of where we're at. Yeah, my dash is still tore apart. I wanted to confirm that I had this thing working once I get a new drive gear and driven gear. So anyway, I guess this video is going to be a bit of a hodgepodge mess of whatever, but I got to get the car up in the air and get this transmission out of here. It's not a fun drop either. I got to loosen my headers, long tube headers and stuff, so wish me luck. Has happened here, and I don't have a light on me, but we think the drive gear has walked on the shaft inside the transmission. Hence the reason I had seen the spring up in there and then stuck my fat finger in there and knocked it down and into the case. We're hoping that that's all that's happened. So, and I keep saying we, so my buddy that rebuilt this transmission is going to come by and help me bust the back of it off, the back of the case here. That's all happening tomorrow night. From what I understand, it's not a terrible job, but I don't know. If you guys are anything like me, you know, there's stuff that you just kind of leave to the pros, and my buddy's a pro, so I'm going to get him to come by and help me with it. I'll introduce him to you on the channel. But anyway, we're hoping we can just bust the back of the case off here, which means we got to pull my shifter off. There's a roll pin you got to pound out and whatever. Knock this back and fish my spring out of here and put it back in place on this drive gear. And I'm hoping this drive gear is not mangled. As per my buddy, he says he like never sees those drive gears mangled. I think I mentioned to you guys earlier the whole boost scenario. I don't know what's going on there. I do have my mechanical gauge out. Hopefully if I can get this transmission in time, I'm going to hook that up and cross confirm with that gauge that my digital snow performance gauge is reading correctly. And if it is reading correctly, well then I got bigger problems on my hands. I don't know why I'm producing as little boost as I am right now, but as you can see, I got bigger fish to fry at the moment. So, all right, transmission master doing his work. See what kind of damage we caused here. Hopefully none. How many of these you see in the inside of?
70, 100, I don't know.
That many?
A lot, yeah. I've been building them since the mid-90s.
Japers.
When they were everywhere, right?
Okay, I probably need something to crack her. Oh, you got that handled? Okay.
Who's going to do this? Yeah.
Almost looked like it was moving up for you. There it goes.
There we go.
Oh yeah, now she's bleeding.
And I can never get it all out. Yeah, clink, clink.
There it is.
There she is. Safe and sound, man. You want to?
And there's our
So
clip.
there's a spring in there and a ball. You want to take that to a cleaner area,
Yep.
or what do you want
Yep.
to wash?
Let me
that?
shut this down. All right, sorry about that, folks. Had to set the camera down and use both hands. Okay, here is where we're at. So, turns out the little clip that holds the drive gear, the speedo drive gear, this guy here, on the shaft has snapped. This should not be broken off right there. Right. Okay, we're all cleaned up. And now listen, before I show you what's going on here, folks, just going to explain a little bit. So I'm going to show you what went on with the old clip. I'm going to show you what a new clip looks like. My buddy Eric, who was here earlier pounding the back end of this case off, he had to go home. Actually, thank goodness he did, because he was able to find a couple of these drive speedo gear clips. I've since ran down to his place, picked up 2 of them just in case I screw one up, and cleaned this thing all up, and now we're going to go back together. Now, I've never done this before, okay? I don't think it's rocket science, but I don't know, right? I'm doing it for the first time. So bear with me. Anyway, I'm going to show you what's going on here. Okay, so here is the new clip. If you got a bit of a photogenic mind, you might think to yourself, that looks a heck of a lot like the old clip. Well, you'd be right, except, see that little tab there? That's what broke off of mine. And that little tab is what goes in this hole in the shaft, okay? And then as per Eric's instructions, right, squeeze this guy down. We're going to push this guy on, and then that's set, and then it's a matter of, well, RTVing this case back together and kind of putting the shift mechanism back together as well. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. He kind of ran me through it before he left, but you know, spring in this case here, Ball bearing goes in the bottom. This is all going to be going into here. I don't know how much I want to show you of all this, folks, because I could be giving you bad advice. Again, I've never done this before, but whatever. I'll set the camera up so you guys can kind of see what's going on here, and we'll see if we can get this thing put back together and going back in the car, because the clock is ticking fast here. We did it. Okay, folks, I mean, truth be told, probably not the worst job in the world. I'd say maybe if you're just getting started, it's probably something that's going to pucker you up pretty good, because you kind of got to hold your tongue in the right place and, you know, rub your tummy and pat your head and get it all going all at the same time. But yeah, I think I got her anyway. I kind of checked it out, threw my shifter on top and rode through the gears and stuff. Everything felt good. It actually, interestingly enough, was tight. Like when I first put it together, I was like, what's going on here, right? So I was turning it and just messing around with it, and then I just heard a click, and all of a sudden it was freewheeling. I'm like, uh-oh, is that good freewheeling or bad freewheeling? And anyway, then I kind of rode through the gears, and, you know, one hand on the tail end and one hand on the input here, and it does everything it's supposed to do. Defines reverse, 1 through 5. So yeah, roll pins nice and set. Probably throw a little grease in here. I'm going to leave the shifter off. I'm going to install it from the top side just to give myself a little more wiggle room up in the transmission tunnel. I am flattened, but the transmission is in. And for anybody out there, Lewis, I'm looking at you, that says I'm trying to sabotage bringing my car down to Tennessee, this is proof right here. It is 1:30 in the morning, okay? I've already put in a full day's work, and then I come here, no dinner, and turn this thing around. So, yeah, buddy. You're going to have to eat some crow on this one. Anyway, we are back in. The only thing I got to do is pull that clip, change that driven gear, put it back in its home, and we got speedo again. Thank goodness. And everything went in nice. Sorry here, guys. Kind of blinding you. Nice and straight. And yeah, I think we're ready to rock and roll here. Tips are good. Thank goodness. So now, like I said at the beginning of this video, folks, I didn't think I was going to be filming a video like this. I thought I was going to be doing a first impression driving video, but here we are. This is Foxbody at its finest. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do a first impressions drive until we're down south. It is pissing rain out right now. The street sweepers are out, but like the streets are still pretty nasty. We'll see. Maybe I'll have something filmed before I go. I don't even know when I'm going to find time to edit this video. I still got to pack the trailer, load the car, like actually pack a bag, get my family ready to go. So anyway, we'll see where all this lands and whether or not you guys even see this video before Tennessee. So it's now Thursday, so we are literally 7 days away before we drive like 2,800 miles or something silly like that to go to Ponies in the Smokies. So for whatever this is all worth, folks, I don't know if there's any tidbits you can take out of it, or maybe this is just pure entertainment value, but I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, maybe share it along, send it to some Foxbody friends, whatever. Do you, okay? Thanks for tagging along, guys. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments and hopefully seeing some of you down at Pits. Take care. Bye for now.